Former President Joe Biden has announced that he has an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. And after taking a moment to pause, a moment of silence, and send condolences and wish him well, everyone in America went, "What the fuck? And now this?"
I'm freaking out, man.
I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your Dumpster Fire. Welcome to Dumpster Fire, where we make burgers out of your sacred cows. We premiere new episodes every Tuesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Central. Please join us in the chat and make jokes that we wish we made. That's usually what ends up happening. Before we get going, some upcoming comedy dates for you guys. Tickets are available for my stand-up comedy show, Ask Me Anything. It's at the Creek in the Cave. It will be this Thursday, May 22nd at 8 p.m. And then moving forward, every second and fourth Tuesday at 7 p.m. Link is in the description below. You can see the whole schedule there. I've also got a new live online show launching Wednesday, May 21st on Two-Way called Real America with yours truly. You can register to be a member of the audience, and you can ask questions and chat with me at tway.tv/Bridget. Go to the link in the description below, and please join us there. It's going to be fun and bonkers, and as I mention, live with me. We'll see how that goes. But back to our main story. You know the media has turned on Biden when even the doctor on Morning Joe was saying there's no way this cancer came out of nowhere.
Oh, he's had this for many years, maybe even a decade.
Morning Joe. These guys have been cheerleaders for Biden. And it's funny to watch everyone in the media turn on him because now they all look so bad. They only care because he's making them look like idiots. It's, dare I say, refreshing, though, to have doctors speaking the truth on these shows about their actual medical opinions and not medical opinions we all know are bullshit and just somehow following some narrative that's being shoved down our throats like we're in Soviet Russia. There does seem to be a little bit of a sea change there. People in left-wing media like the Daily Beast are busy writing articles about how conservatives and MAGA world are pouncing on this news, this speculation about a cover-up and turning it into a conspiracy theory. Yes, because this administration has never covered anything up before.
And I was in almost every meeting with the president. And the president was in front of and on top of it all.
God forbid we think that they're covering something up now. This news happens to drop in between a disastrous performance on The View last week.
You know, one of the things that Alyssa,
the leaked audio from the Her interview.
I'm at this stage in 2009. Am I still vice president?
Which was also devastating. And Jake Tapper's book, Original Sin, which dropped today and alleges, you guessed it, a massive cover-up. One that the media is just learning about. Apparently, Biden was in decline as president. Who knew? Who amongst us knew that Biden was in decline other than everyone? Certainly not Tapper. Things have been going so poorly for Tapper on his "we're trying to find the guy who did this" tour that he hired a crisis PR team last week. And my theory is that their first order of business was to say something like, "Release the cancer diagnosis. We've got to bury this." CNN political analyst David Axelrod insisted on-air conversations about Biden's mental acuity should be more muted and set aside for now as he's struggling through this. And to that I say, this is despicable. It's disgusting. Democrats telling people not to make this political while they use cancer to weaponize empathy in order to continue to gaslight and lie to us is disgusting. It is very transparent, and it makes me deeply, deeply cynical about everything. The Biden family, meanwhile, is like, please respect our privacy during these difficult times. Difficult times meaning we're being investigated for defrauding the American people. Please respect our privacy Even though we were on The View last week, I was on Will Kane's show. Kennedy was subbing for him on Fox this past week. And I do think Kennedy's right. They thought they'd be treated like royalty, like the Obamas when they left office, with a $100 million Netflix deal. And everyone would buy Hunter Biden's paintings, and he would be put in the Met. And everyone would celebrate them and want their, $60 million book deals. And that just isn't happening. He's not popular. He has a press that's throwing him under the bus and saying that he lied to them about his very obvious decline. He's got left-wing people who are mad that he stayed in the race past any reasonable time because he clearly wasn't doing well. And now this information coming out about his cancer makes that look even worse. He's got extreme radical leftists who are furious at him for being Genocide Joe and allowing Israel to bomb Gaza. He's got everyone in the right-wing media system who's demanding to know who knew what when. So he doesn't have the glorious reputation that the Obamas left with. And I think they're pretty mad about it, to be honest. And I think Jill dragged him onto The View to try and salvage their reputation, and it only made him look worse. By the way, now that prostate is in the news, as a complete aside, I just learned from a guy in healthcare. He does genome mapping for health insurance industries, something evil, but it's pretty cool also because they can test to see what you do and don't need tests for, because they're finding like not every woman really needs to get a mammogram every year. Only certain women with certain genetic markers, and those women should probably get them earlier than they're even getting them. But he and I were talking about prostate cancer being another example of one of these, and then told me that they don't do the finger in the butt anymore, the digital prostate exam.
All right, let's take a look.
Hey, just what the hell do you think you're doing?
Because they found out that it doesn't really do anything. So there's generations of men who had a finger up the butt for no reason every year. And there's a whole generation of men who doesn't even know that this test was found to be completely unnecessary. This is the funniest thing, I think, is that they just quietly stopped doing it and never told anyone that it was unnecessary because they didn't want all these boomers and Gen Xers to know they've spent a lifetime getting a finger up their butt for no reason at all. They just backed into the bushes like Homer Simpson. They were like, oh, all these studies came out. They were like, it actually doesn't really detect anything. It's usually the blood test, which is what everybody gets now. And guys, if you're still getting a finger in the butt from your doctor, it's because they want to do that. I would definitely push back and say, doctor, is this really necessary? Unless, of course, you like it, in which case, carry on. And I will say, because everything is political, we're about to find out how many men in America have had prostate cancer, because now prostate cancer is the latest culture war thing. Lots of men are arguing about prostates in the mentions. And probably in these mentions, anything that becomes a news cycle inevitably becomes political. And so there will be bros on the left with prostate cancer who will be defending Joe Biden's late diagnosis of this. And there will be bros on the right with prostate cancer who will be posting their PSA scores and saying, see, we've been monitoring this for years. How did he just find out? Suddenly, everyone trusts doctors again. Everyone believes the experts. Everyone's appealing to authority. And everyone is full of shit. But there are some real questions to be asked. Like, how long did they know that he had prostate cancer? Did they know this and still decide to run him again? How much did they know? Did they know he was in mental decline and had cancer and still decided to fucking ride this train into destruction? This guy was in charge of America for the beginning of the Ukraine war, October 7th, the disastrous withdrawing from Afghanistan, and on and on and on. And we don't even actually know if he was running anything. So who was actually in charge? I think it's a fair question to ask. And why would you think it was okay to run this guy again, knowing that he might be dying of cancer and his brain is turning into pudding? They're like, he's got a better chance than Kamala. And they're not wrong, but they should have offered somebody up. They probably should have done a primary and allowed someone to run. But maybe Kamala was blackmailing them. Maybe she knew all of this and she was like, if you don't make me the fucking nominee, I'm going public with all this shit. Your brain is pudding and you've got cancer in your
In your butt.
In your butt. And it's crazy that the only reason the Bidens haven't faded away into obscurity is not just because Dr. Jill Biden refuses to. It's because the people who assisted in the cover-up are now trying to sell books about the cover-up to cover their own asses and make money. They're like, we're mad they lied to us. Can you believe it? Yeah, we can believe it. We all told you the guy's brain was pudding. I really do think that Dr. Jill released this stuff in advance of this book just to stir shit up. If they're trying to get sympathy, I don't think it's going to work. But if they're trying to if someone's trying to like throw a bomb in this and be like, oh, now you've got to explain this cover up of this other cover up. She's like, if Joe's going down, I'm taking all of you assholes with me. We are just a couple of news cycles away from finding out that Biden has been dead for 3 years already, aren't we? Before our next segment, don't forget to like, subscribe, touch my bells and buttons, and tell your friends about us. Word of mouth, it's the only way people are ever going to hear about us. Please help us reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and you guys have spoken. When we hit 100,000, I will do my best Mexican weather report. And in Espanol even. And then I'll get like deported. You have to stick around through the ad to see the weather report, guys. Sorry, them's the rules. As a maniac who's building a business and has 3 shows, doing stand-up at night, and also chasing a toddler around, I'm always looking for healthy options that can give me a boost in clarity and focus. One of the best changes I've made is adding MudWtr to my routine. I know it doesn't sound appealing, but MudWtr has been such a game changer. It's delicious. It's a cozy mix of cacao, chai, turmeric, and adaptogenic mushrooms to help you feel focused and balanced, not wired. If any of you have ever had like a golden latte, it's a little bit like that. It has a very spicy chai taste. It's smooth, steady, and honestly, it just makes you feel good. And plus, it's ridiculously easy to make. You just add a tablespoon to some hot water and some milk, and you're ready to tackle the day. Are you ready to make the switch to cleaner energy? Head to MudWtr.com and grab your starter kit today. Right now, our listeners get an exclusive deal up to 43% off your entire order. Very specific percent, plus free shipping and a free rechargeable frother when you use the code Bridget. That's right, get up to 43% off with the code Bridget at MudWtr.com. Keep your energy natural and refreshing all year long with MudWtr, because life's too short for anything less than clean, delicious energy. It is delicious. I'm kind of addicted to it. Now let's check the weather with Maite Caranco.
En los 18-19 grados centígrados tenemos que está lloviendo, inclusive aquí en el centro está granizando. Por favor, extremen precauciones. Vamos directamente a nuestra imagen de satélite. Tenemos 2 fenómenos en el Pacífico bastante activos. Por un lado, el huracán Blas.
Thank you, Maite. In an interview with Fox News, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino and Director Kash Patel insist that Epstein killed himself.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
What other conclusion could I possibly draw? I think we're all thinking the exact same thing. Wow, this goes way deeper than I expected.
Carol! I don't know. I think maybe he did kill himself.
Jesus Christ! I've been infiltrated! We've got a plant in my own home. In my own studio. Maggie is a freaking deep state plant. It was only a matter of time. I'm just getting too big.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
We all know that when somebody gets huge like me, they're just surrounded by CIA operatives and plants. Lex Friedman. Just kidding. No, in this interview, which is wild, Bongino said he killed himself. I've seen the whole file. He killed himself. Okay, then show us the file. Why are we supposed to just keep taking everyone's word for this stuff? Show us. I understand it's an ongoing investigation and you'll get to hide behind that forever and say we can't release the names in the black book because it would undermine the investigation. But it's not like we haven't just covered an entire story about all of the cover-ups that happen in our government, not to mention we just came out of COVID times where everyone who said, hey, maybe it was a lab leak, now it's coming out that that's probably the case. Why are you expecting the American people to believe literally anything at this point? My question about people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, did they believe what they were pushing when they were pushing it as Epstein didn't kill himself, which both of these guys did until they got into power, and maybe they realize it's just a boring story and everything is exactly as it's being presented by the FBI, which we're supposed to trust, even though they're also investigating the FBI for their role in January 6th. But pay no attention to these conflicting narratives. Pay no attention to the fact that the FBI has never been some gold standard that we're supposed to believe. Just believe what we're saying about this and trust that we're going to find other things out about that. That's really the message I'm getting here. Did they believe this, or were they presented with new evidence that just changed their mind? But it's weird. Didn't you see the 60 Minutes with the guy that the brother got to go do an autopsy on Epstein, and they were saying that it was the whole thing is weird? And I could maybe chalk one of the things up to just incompetence, like James Comey's daughter, who happened to be in charge of this investigation. She somehow erased the video, and the CCTV was down. Maybe I could just attribute one of those things to incompetence, but also both the guards fell asleep at the same time. And even this doctor says that it was strange. It looks not like they described it at all, but we're just supposed to take everyone's word for it. I don't feel like it's wrong for Americans to be questioning this stuff. And it is quite funny that two of the biggest conspiracy theorists in the right-wing media are now like, nope, it's just as boring as you thought it was. Why would they lie to us? It's not like our leaders lie to us and cover things up. Also, Kash Patel always looks like he just got off a roller coaster. And true, maybe they didn't kill him. Maybe they just allowed him to kill himself. I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for this. But you also have to admit that when this guy has been connected to some of the biggest, like CIA, Mossad, he has all these connections to all these famous people, the Clintons, even Trump, we're supposed to just accept the narrative that these people are not lying to us. They also had to admit that with the Trump assassination attempts, there's no there there. There's no bigger thing. And there's no basis to some of their own theories that they pushed and exploited. So either these guys are guilty of turning all of their audience into conspiracy theorists just to make a buck, or they're guilty of being conspiracy theorists themselves and realizing that none of that was true. They get in and they see the files. They're like, nothing to see here. Or there's the other conspiracy, which I see a lot in the comments. No, it's not the Jews. I know that's what some of you are going to say. It's that the only reason these guys would lie is to lie on behalf of Trump. The only person they would lie for is Trump. And maybe Trump is the one who doesn't want any of this coming to light because, you know, he liked Epstein's Island. Everything's so corrupt. I don't believe anything.
That's a hard place to be now. That's where everyone is.
Most people, I think.
Yeah.
And they rightfully should be.
Yeah.
I don't begrudge anyone for not believing anything, but I'm not exactly sure where we go from here. You know where I go? Just focusing on getting hot. That's my default. We spend so much time caring for the skin on our face, but what about our neck? Unless you're wearing turtlenecks all day, your neck is out there for the world to see, and it's one of the first places to show dreaded signs of aging. That's why goPure Beauty developed their revolutionary Tighten and Lift Neck Cream. Powered by clinically proven active ingredients, this advanced formula is designed to visibly firm, smooth, and rejuvenate the delicate skin on your neck and chest in as little as 4 to 8 weeks. I'm always showing my neck off, and I am very self-conscious about it, believe it or not, because here's the thing. The skin on your neck is thinner, it's more delicate, and it's less oily than facial skin, meaning it requires specialized care. You get that kind of paper mache look. goPure's firming complex targets the unique concerns of the neck while nourishing and strengthening your skin for a more lifted, youthful look. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off goPure with code DUMPSTER at checkout. Do you not want your neck to look like a dumpster? Just head to gopurebeauty.com/dumpster. Use the code DUMPSTER and you're all set. If you love Dumpster Fire, the best thing you can do is become a paid supporter at Phetasy.com. A lot of you have joined recently. We're happy to see you in there. You get the unedited version of Dumpster Fire. We leave a lot of inappropriate things on the cutting room floor. You also get access to everything else we're doing. And you get access to our chat over there, which is pure and beautiful. Join us right here on YouTube every Tuesday and Friday night, 8 p.m. Central for a new Dumpster Fire. We do a live chat. And thank you to everybody who helps make Dumpster Fire possible. You, most importantly, viewers, watchers, sharers of our show, we adore you. Thank you to goPure and MudWtr for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you to our supporters and subscribers. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Bridget.
And now to cleanse your palate, the internet is glorious.
Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? What the fuck? Bitch.
Remember, life is absurd. Don't take yourself so damn seriously. Take the work seriously. Don't take yourself seriously. This has been your Dumpster Fire. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich so I can have a private island. Not one like that.
A different kind of private island.
A different kind of private island.
And the unicorns dance while the